All right, here, Tyler Herrick. Tyler, if you won one of these Old Salt Diner $1 million scratch tickets, what would you spend it on?
Well, first thing I'd do is I'd make sure that my mortgage was paid off. Then I would try to set aside some money for my kids to go to college. And ultimately, the goal here is having a really nice winter vacation. So a couple weeks in the Bahamas might be the ticket right there. Cheers, guys.
All right, we're here with Dwight McMahon here, Cisco Brewers. Dwight, if you won one of these Old Salt Diner $1 million scratchies, what would you spend it on?
I think I'd take a group of my friends and we go on the best surf trip ever. And then we'd figure the rest out.
All right, what's your name?
Emily.
Ben. All right, if either of you won one of these Old Salt Diner $1 million scratch tickets, what would you spend it on?
I would probably go to the Port Restaurant in Harwich and get a dinner there, and then I don't know. I'd go on a shopping spree probably.
A ring for this finger.
What's your name?
Steve.
So, have you heard about these Old Salt Diner $1 million scratch tickets that have been won?
I did. I heard about it on the Nantucket Current Instagram this morning, actually.
Excellent, excellent. So 3 in the past 6 months. So the question is, if you were one of those winners, what would you spend $1 million on?
I live on the Vineyard, so the other island.
Would you buy a house in Nantucket?
I don't think that'd be enough money, but
Good point.
I think I would maybe get a boat. I've always wanted a nice boat, so I think I get a nice boat.
So you come to Nantucket a little more often.
Definitely, absolutely.
All right, and over here, what's your name?
Jackie.
Reed.
All right, so if you two won the $1 million scratch ticket, what would you buy?
I think I'd buy a house and a vacation for my parents.
Yeah, same. Friends and family, for sure.
All right, so what's your name?
I'm Emily.
So Emily, if you won one of these $1 million scratch tickets at Old Salt Diner, what would you spend the money on?
An all blacked out G-Wagon, and then I would go and spend the rest of the money on a family vacation, and then a week after with my friends.
Would you come to Nantucket?
Probably not with $1 million. I would want a house with more than $1 million, but I would go on like an unreal vacation, maybe like to like a cruise or like Mexico. Yeah.
Fair. And so what's your name?
My name's Camilla.
So what would you spend the winnings on a $1 million scratch ticket on?
Well, I need a little bit more money, but I would definitely buy a house here on Nantucket first off, and then some clothes, maybe some charity, but again, I need some more money for that.
So what are your names?
I'm Megan. I'm Caitlin. I'm Kiki. And I'm Abby.
All right, ladies. So if you won one of these Old Salt Diner $1 million scratch tickets, what would you spend the money on? We'll go left to right.
I'd probably buy a beach house for my friends and my family. I don't know where yet, and also give back to some charities in the community.
I would probably try to travel the world, buy a lot of nice shoes, jewelry, and maybe a house. I don't know if that's enough money.
Probably would need more on Nantucket, but
I think I would take all my friends, close friends and family to Italy for like a 2-week little vacay, all expenses paid.
I'm going to get a nice big boat and 2 golden retrievers.
all right. What's your name?
Scott.
So Scott, if you were one of the Old Salt Diner $1 million scratch ticket winners, what would you spend the money on?
A house that could, bring all my children, grandkids, everybody else into it. One big home.
Mm-hmm. And what's your name, bud?
Tyler.
So Tyler, if you won $1 million on one of these scratch tickets, what would you spend the money on?
Probably a lot of video games, but then I'd give the rest to charity.
Good man right there. All right, so what are your names?
Will.
Becca.
Tyler.
All right, so if you were a winner of one of these Old Salt Diner $1 million scratch tickets, what would you spend the money on? We're going to go left to right.
$250,000 into a recording studio, then I'd probably give roughly $200,000 to my parents, and then the rest of it, invest in music equipment for myself, honestly.
Incredible. I want a membership at my comment, and then I'm investing the rest.
Smart man.
I think I'd do the same, pay off my parents' bills, and then use the rest on the down payment on a house here so I never have to leave.
There you go.
I'd pay all my wife's student loans, buy myself a new driver, and invest the rest.
All right, so what are your names?
John.
And Ashley.
All right, so if either of you won one of these $1 million scratch tickets at Old Salt Diner, what would you spend the money on?
I mean, I think I'd have to just donate it all to my little baby girl and my wife and let her decide.
It would have to go to a couple things. Love, this is so cliche, love dogs, so part of it's going to go to the Humane Society in Greenville, South Carolina. And then maybe, just education for her as well.
Maybe a golf membership or two in there as well. You never know.
New driver.
Yeah, exactly.
Putter maybe.
Whole new bag. Whole new bag. Yeah.
All right. So what are your names?
Catherine, Whitney, I'm Jessica, Sarah.
All right, ladies. So if you won one of these $1 million scratch tickets at the Old Salt Diner, what would you spend the money on? We're gonna go left to right.
We'll buy a mountain home. An airplane to fly wherever I want. Probably a small house in Sconset. I would take an extravagant trip to Paris.
What are your names?
Maureen.
Jack. All right. So if either of you won one of these $1 million scratch tickets at the Old Salt Diner, what would you spend the money on?
I would absolutely find something beautiful, hopefully close to this island, and live here.
I'd buy my own mountain so I never had to see anyone again.
All right, guys. What's your name?
I'm Jack.
Jack.
Everly.
Nice to meet you both. So if you won $1 million, what would you spend the money on?
Probably on Christmas, I would probably get my mom and dad and my sister presents for Christmas.
Thoughtful son right there.
All right. What are you going to get out?
I do not know.
Don't be shy.
Come on. There must be something.
Lamborghini. A Lamborghini set.
A Lamborghini?
Yeah.
What are your names?
Steven.
Haley Jane.
And where are you both from?
Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah.
All right. So if either of you were one of the winners of one of these $1 million scratch tickets at Old Salt Diner, what would you spend the money on?
I just see me a little boat with a house and a dock on the water, and I'm set.
I'm a little more bougie. I would really like a villa in Tuscany, maybe on a vineyard, something a little bit more out there.
So what's your name?
I'm Liz.
And where are you from?
I'm from Scottsdale, Arizona.
All right. So Old Salt Diner has sold 3 $1 million scratch tickets in the past 6 months. If you were one of those winners, what would you spend the money on?
I would throw the biggest party this island has ever seen. I'd spend every single dime making it better than the Boston Pops.
What are your names?
Nemo?
Pepper?
All right. So if you were one of the winners of one of these $1 million scratch tickets at the Old Salt Diner, what would you spend the $1 million on?
So $1 million after taxes, call it $650. Try to get property here. If not, summer place where I can afford to spend the full $650.
I would blow up my house at home and redo it.
Perfect. All right, we're here with Jeff from Cisco Brewery. Jeff, if you were one of the winners of one of these $1 million scratch tickets at Old Salt Diner, what would you spend the money on?
I would definitely do the lump sum, not the payments. Take a one-time payment at an acreage up north somewhere near a ski resort, and not to deal with people anymore. Definitely, 100%.